When I was little, I was shy, quiet, did not like confrontation or dealing with other people. My parents had been trying for a very long time to get me to go out of the house and go socialize with other kids. Then one fateful day, my parents decided to make me try out for martial arts. I vividly remember being literally dragged out of the house and put in the back of my dad's car. My mom had joked to me that I was going to be going to military school like we saw on Malcolm in the Middle. The problem was I actually believed her. But after a lot of kicking and screaming, I was finally driven to the edge of my neighborhood, and my dad let me out in front of this building. I have no idea why my young toddler brain clicked with martial arts, but it did. And soon enough, Taekwondo became a huge part of my life that shaped me into the person I am today. Now, I wish I could tell you that learning Taekwondo took this small, squeaky, skinny little child and turned him into a robust, muscular kung fu master who didn't take shit from nobody. But those of you who know me in real life know that is the farthest thing from the truth. It turned me into something better. Going to my Taekwondo school actually taught me how to be a decent human being. And that's because Taekwondo, or even martial arts in general, is not like how it's portrayed in the movies. It's actually much more practical than that. One of the things that was openly stressed in the martial arts school that I went to was respecting those around you and learning how to cooperate with others. So I wasn't necessarily learning how to do a triple flip and how to take out 10 people all at once and be an unstoppable killing machine. No. I was actually learning self-discipline, how to get along with others, and they taught me all this from a young age through basic exercises and kicks and punches, and just general activities. My martial arts school became like my second home, and the rules of the school were an important part of teaching me that respect is more than just saying please and thank you, because I already knew that, but it's more about the tone of your voice, how you carry yourself, how you dress, and above all else, how you treat yourself and others. My martial arts school was also a huge part of giving me some shred of self-confidence, something I had none of before I went there. You see, when I started the school, I was a white belt. This meant I was a beginner, and if I wanted to advance in belt ranks, I had to do a promotion test. This was an event that my school held once every couple months, where the students would put their skills to the test in front of a panel of judges and their families, so that way they could advance to the next belt rank. To the older students, this was no big deal, but to a shy little kid like me, this was nerve-wracking. In fact, to this day, I think I mentally blocked out most of the event. But I do remember one key moment. The very last part of the promotion test was using your skills to break a piece of wood. All the other kids had already been successful, except for me. I was the last kid, and I couldn't actually break that piece of wood for the life of me. But you know what? The instructors were supportive, and they kept encouraging me no matter what. Eventually, I kicked the piece of wood really hard, and I heard a crack. I was actually able to break it. I was so proud of myself as I heard everybody cheer behind me, and I successfully passed my first promotion test and achieved my yellow belt. That was the first time I actually did something I thought I was never able to do, and it actually gave me a nice boost in self-confidence. Over the next decade, I rose through the ranks and acquired new knowledge. It was during this time that I learned about self-discipline and responsibility. Every time I went up a rank, I had more responsibility. It was my job to learn the new kicks and punches, as well as the meanings of each belt rank. The higher I go, the longer the meanings were. Before I reached black belt, I had to memorize an entire miniature paragraph by heart. It was one of the first times I remember buckling down and actually studying anything. Soon, all my studying paid off, and by the time I was around 10 years old, I had achieved my black belt. I thought things would be easy now that I had reached the end. But you know what? It wasn't. Not by a long shot. One of the main responsibilities of being a black belt is being able to convey the knowledge that you've learned to everyone underneath you. So I was surprised that my instructor actually asked me to teach a class and become a teacher. I mean, I was only 13 at the time, but I accepted. So I went to my first class with 30 or so people in the room, and it was horrible. I forgot most of the punching and kicking combos, and I didn't even have a good grasp on the class at all. My instructor literally screamed at me in front of the entire class. I felt so bad because I felt like I hadn't earned my position or my rank. I felt like a joke. That's when the idea of self-discipline really began to sink into my brain, and I actually began to push myself physically and mentally. I took the time to push my body to perfect the different kicks, takedowns, and sparring techniques. I was definitely far from perfect in mastering everything, but I was actually trying, and that's what counted. This kind of mental and physical discipline also transformed who I was outside of my martial arts school. I taught martial arts for 5 years, and I eventually made it to my 2nd degree black belt. I refined my teaching style over the years and actually got much better. I was also able to forge a bunch of close relationships with other people in the school, from students to other instructors. Teaching people everything I knew really made me realize that I wanted to spend my life helping other people in some way, shape, or form. Even though it's been about 5 years now since I ever taught or practiced martial arts, I still use the disciplines of the school in my everyday life. These are the same practices of the school that taught a 3-year-old me the value of hard work, respect, and self-discipline. And it was because I learned these things that I've been able to keep a consistent study and work pattern so I can excel academically, even coming into my university with a 4.0 GPA. This mental discipline also helped me keep a level head and calm demeanor in my current retail job. I also briefly considered becoming a teacher before shifting to graphic design, and then of course to communication. This school was one of the main forces that changed me from an introvert who wouldn't talk to anyone, and helped shape my mental attitude towards life, and helped me figure out what kind of path I wanted to go on to.
Hey, take this. I'm not, baby. Let me see your muscles. Let me